where we will paste the text of the inscription and we will hide that word with question marks.
What if the voices of ancient civilizations were never truly silenced, just waiting for the right machine to listen? From AI unwrapping scrolls charred by Vesuvius to decoding the eerie symbols of the Danube script, older than Egypt's hieroglyphs. Machines are exposing secrets once thought lost forever. They were messages carved in bone, burned into scrolls, and buried under centuries of silence until AI brought them back.
In 79 AD, this ancient Roman city was also buried in volcanic ash by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. But what was found here, with the help of artificial intelligence, could change the way we understand history.
For nearly 2,000 years, the charred papyrus scrolls found in Herculaneum have been indecipherable.
This is the writing of the Elamites, called cuneiform. Only nobody knew what the writing meant.
Today, we uncover 20 times AI decoded lost languages and revealed dark secrets. Secrets of the Danube Code. You ever heard of the Danube cursive? Nah? Don't stress. You're not alone. Most people haven't. But what if I told you this could be the oldest written language on the planet, and AI might have just cracked part of it? We're talking about symbols etched into ancient tablets, way before the Egyptians started carving hieroglyphs or the Sumerians laid down cuneiform. These mysterious signs were found along the Danube River, modern-day Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania. But here's where it gets spicy. Nobody could figure out what they meant. For decades, historians argued whether this was even a real script, or just fancy decoration. Then came AI. Researchers started feeding this ancient code into advanced pattern recognition models. And suddenly, things started clicking. The shapes, the repetitions, the placement, it wasn't random. These symbols followed structure, syntax. AI revealed patterns too complex to be coincidental. Translation? Not yet. But one thing's clear. This was a real writing system, and it might be thousands of years older than anything we thought we knew. So, who were these people? Scribbling cryptic marks while the rest of the world was still figuring out farming? What secrets were they hiding in those symbols? Rituals? Warnings? Lost knowledge? The wildest part? This all came out of the blue. A silent civilization, screaming through scratched stone. And thanks to AI, we're finally starting to hear them. So yeah, next time someone says writing started in Mesopotamia, just know the Danube might have beat them to it and left behind a code AI is finally beginning to unlock. Researchers just used artificial intelligence to decode Akkadian cuneiform, one of the world's oldest written languages. Yeah, we're talking about a script so ancient, it predates the freaking alphabet. This stuff was literally carved into clay tablets during the time of Mesopotamia's rise and fall. For decades, only a few scholars could make sense of these symbols, and even then, it took months to translate just one. A wild new AI model trained on thousands of real translations. Decoding a full tablet is as easy as hitting a button. The University of Tel Aviv, along with big names in machine learning, fed AI systems massive amounts of cuneiform data. Inscriptions from royal decrees, myths, trade records, you name it. And here's where it gets crazy. The AI didn't just translate the words. It revealed how the Akkadians thought, their fears, their politics, their rituals, even warnings about enemies within. Turns out, some of those so-called myths might have been coded messages, warnings about betrayal, famine, or even societal collapse. So were the Akkadians trying to warn the future, or were they hiding their own skeletons? Either way, it's clear. History just got hacked.
It was written in the Babylonian language, which is a Semitic tongue related to the modern language.
Babylon's lost voices. Babylon, land of myths, gods, and kings. But what if some of its most powerful stories were never fully told? Until now, ancient Babylonian texts, once shattered and incomplete, are being stitched back together through AI. And the results? Straight up mind-blowing. Researchers are using recurrent neural networks to restore missing parts of Akkadian writings, one of the oldest known written languages. These are tablets that have been damaged over thousands of years, cracked, eroded, or missing chunks entirely. But now, with deep learning models trained on thousands of lines of text, AI can predict what should have been there, and it's freakishly accurate. We're talking about epics, legal codes, and mystical warnings once believed lost to time, now pieced back together like digital archaeology. And here's where it gets real spicy. Some of these restored lines hint at pre-flood legends, forbidden rituals, and cosmic events the ancients claimed were sent from the heavens. Whether myth or memory, they're echoing through time in ways no one expected. This isn't just about patching up old stories. It's about rewriting what we thought we knew. The past is talking again, and Babylon has some unfinished business. Either way, AI is unlocking secrets from the cradle of civilization, and it's just getting started.
So these are new pieces of the puzzle, and we can add them to our greater picture.
Scrolls of mystery. For decades, the Dead Sea Scrolls were shrouded in mystery. Who wrote them, and why? Now, thanks to artificial intelligence, we're finally getting some answers, and they're not what anyone expected. At the heart of this discovery is the Great Isaiah Scroll, one of the most complete and famous texts ever found in the Qumran caves. Scholars always assumed it was written by a single scribe, but AI had other plans. Using super detailed pattern recognition, researchers developed a model to study the tiniest strokes and curves in the handwriting, stuff no human eye could ever catch. And boom! Turns out at least 2 different scribes worked on the same scroll. That's a game changer. Why does it matter? Because this changes everything we thought we knew about how these ancient texts were made. It suggests organized scribal teams, shared workspaces, maybe even a full-on scroll writing operation hidden in the desert. Even wilder, the AI revealed subtle shifts in writing style that might show changes in mood, purpose, or pressure. Could these scribes have been hiding something or passing on secret knowledge on the radar? These weren't just religious writings. They were survival manuals, coded philosophies, and maybe even protest texts during dangerous times. With every scroll AI analyzes, more pieces of the puzzle come together. And if it figured this out from ink on parchment, just imagine what else it's going to uncover next. The Dead Sea's been silent for centuries, but now, the scrolls are talking, and we're finally listening. Scrolls of fire, buried under ash, burned to a crisp, forgotten for nearly 2,000 years. Sounds like the end of a story, right? Not anymore. The charred scrolls of Herculaneum, once thought to be unreadable forever, are finally giving up their secrets, thanks to artificial intelligence. These ancient Roman texts were turned into blackened lumps after Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, entombing an entire library under volcanic ash. Scholars tried for centuries to read them without destroying them. Total dead end. Enter AI. Using high-resolution CT scans and machine learning, researchers taught algorithms how to virtually unwrap the scrolls without touching a thing. And guess what? It worked. These scrolls are being decoded line by line, revealing deep thoughts on Epicurean philosophy, written by thinkers obsessed with life's biggest questions. What's the deal with pleasure? How do we handle pain? And here's the twist. This isn't just boring old philosophy. Some passages hint at radical takes on mortality, soul, and power, words that might have gotten someone in serious trouble back then. So now we're asking, what else is hidden in this ancient time capsule? The volcano tried to silence them, but AI just turned up the volume. Ancient code cracked. What if the darkest secrets of an antique empire were buried in stone? And now, after 5,000 years, machines just spilled the tea? Rebuilding lost words. Some secrets weren't just forgotten, they were shattered. But now, artificial intelligence is bringing them back to life, one broken stone at a time. Meet Pythia, the digital detective built by researchers from Google DeepMind and the University of Oxford. This AI doesn't just translate ancient Greek. Nah, it straight up restores it. We're talking about damaged inscriptions, where time and erosion wiped out entire sections of text. Pythia steps in, studies the patterns, and predicts what's missing, like it's filling in the blanks on a 2000-year-old jigsaw puzzle. Now that's next level. Historians used to spend years trying to reconstruct even a single damaged line. But Pythia? This thing can offer dozens of potential restorations in seconds. And it's not just spitting out guesses. It's basing them on deep neural networks trained on real ancient scripts, analyzing the style, structure, and grammar from thousands of known examples. Here's where things get wild. Some of the recovered inscriptions, they hint at political power moves, cultural taboos, and even ancient cover-ups, things that were literally lost to history. Suddenly, old marble slabs are starting to talk again, and what they're saying might just rewrite what we thought we knew about ancient Greece. So the big question now, what else is hiding in the ruins? Because with AI leading the way, the past isn't staying buried for long. Cracking the uncrackable. For centuries, the writings of entire civilizations sat in silence, symbols no one alive could read, meanings lost in time. But now, AI's stepping up to do what humans couldn't. Yeah, We're talking about some of the most mysterious scripts ever discovered, the Indus Valley script and Rongo from Easter Island. No one's been able to fully crack these codes. No Rosetta Stone, no bilingual texts, just rows of symbols carved into stone, waiting to spill their secrets. Until now, AI researchers are throwing next-gen tech at these puzzles, training neural networks to spot patterns, test hypotheses, and even simulate language evolution. And guess what? It's actually working. Algorithms are finding connections, recurring sequences, and structure where we once saw chaos. Take the Indus Valley script. It's over 4,500 years old, and for decades, scholars thought it might not even be a real language. But now, AI is showing signs that it does follow linguistic rules. That changes everything. Same with Rongo. It's like an ancient message in a bottle from Easter Island, and machines are finally starting to trace grammatical patterns that could crack it open. If these AI models keep making progress, we're not just talking about a tech flex, we're talking about rewriting ancient history. Bones that speak. What do burned animal bones have to say about one of the world's oldest civilizations? Turns out, plenty. Deep in China's ancient history, during the Shang dynasty, rulers used cracked ox bones and turtle shells, called oracle bones, to ask the gods for answers. These weren't just random carvings. They were the earliest form of Chinese writing. And for centuries, scholars struggled to decode them until AI stepped in. Researchers have now built cutting-edge AI models that can read this olden lettering. We're talking about symbols carved over 3,000 years ago, finally getting translated in real time. Using deep learning and thousands of scanned artifacts, the AI connects patterns that human eyes often miss, decoding messages about war, weather, royal rituals, even omens from the spirit world. This isn't just old-school fortune-telling. These bones hold the roots of modern Chinese writing, and possibly secrets about how one of the longest continuous cultures on Earth first took shape. Some decoded inscriptions hint at divine messages that influenced major political moves. Others reveal dark prophecies, warnings of disasters or betrayals, the kind of stuff you'd expect from an ancient thriller, not dusty artifacts. Maya code cracked. For years, the ancient Maya script stood as one of the toughest writing systems to crack, an intricate puzzle of symbols, animals, and sacred geometry. But now, AI is slicing through the mystery, like a hot blade through obsidian. Researchers have trained fine-tuned foundation models, basically the brainiacs of machine learning, to segment Maya hieroglyphs. Sounds simple, but it's a total game changer. Before, experts had to manually separate each glyph from stone carvings and faded codices, trying to make sense of the chaos. Now, AI does it in seconds, identifying individual signs and structures with freakish precision. This segmentation is key. It's like organizing the alphabet before you can read a sentence. And with this breakthrough, scholars are starting to unlock deeper meanings behind royal bloodlines, wars, astronomical records, and even ritual sacrifices. Some glyphs, once dismissed as decorative, are now being recognized as names, dates, or warnings, messages that were practically hiding in plain sight. And the more glyphs AI decodes, the clearer it becomes. The Maya weren't just keeping track of time, they were trying to control it. So here's the real mindbender. What secrets have been sitting on temple walls and buried codices, unread for centuries, just waiting for the right tech to decode them? AI deciphers dead scripts. Buried beneath layers of time, two ancient handwriting, Ugaritic and Linear B, have long stood as relics of forgotten worlds. But now, AI is cracking their codes and digging up secrets that history nearly erased. Using a neural decipherment model powered by minimum cost flow algorithms, yeah, it's as high-tech as it sounds, researchers have made serious progress decoding these ancient scripts. We're talking a 5.5% jump in deciphering Ugaritic and a whopping 67.3% accuracy with Linear B cognates. For languages that were practically unreadable outside a small circle of experts, this is major. So why does it matter? Because these handwritings aren't just old texts. They're keys to unlocking life in ancient Syria and Mycenaean Greece. Ugaritic gives us glimpses into forgotten mythologies and early Semitic roots. Linear B? That's tied to the very beginnings of Greek civilization, including trade, politics, and even early religious systems. AI isn't just reading dead languages. It's giving voice to entire cultures that vanished without leaving much behind. And here's the kicker. Some newly translated lines suggest complex power structures, cult rituals, and trade networks that may have reshaped what we thought we knew about Bronze Age history. So now we gotta ask, how many more lost languages are just waiting for AI to crack them wide open? Because once these machines get going, the past doesn't stay buried for long. Nazca lines exposed. For over 1,000 years, the Nazca lines have stretched across Peru's desert. Giant symbols etched into the earth, visible only from the sky. Who made them? Why? And what do they mean? No one really knew. Until now, artificial intelligence paired with high-resolution aerial photography, researchers just uncovered around 1,300 new geoglyphs, nearly doubling the number we thought existed. Yeah, you heard that right. Hidden in plain sight, these massive carvings, animals, humans, strange geometric shapes, were buried by time and sand. But not anymore. The AI scanned drone images frame by frame, picking up patterns that even the sharpest human eyes missed. Some of the newly discovered figures are over 100 feet wide, while others are so faint, they're barely scratches in the dust. But together, they're blowing the lid off our understanding of the Nazca civilization. Were these massive artworks religious? Messages to the gods? Or something else entirely? Star maps, warning signs, or coded communication? Here's where it gets wild. Some glyphs seem to reference creatures or symbols that don't show up in other Nazca art. Could that mean different cultures contributed to these lines? Or that they evolved over centuries? Whatever the case, the desert just gave up another piece of its ancient puzzle, and AI was the key. Europe's oldest code. Before the pyramids, before Mesopotamia, there may have been the Danube. Tucked deep in southeastern Europe, mysterious symbols carved onto ancient artifacts, some over 7,000 years old, could represent the earliest form of writing on the planet. Known as the Danube script, this cryptic code has baffled historians for decades. No known language to match, no Rosetta Stone to guide the way. But now, AI is stepping in to crack the case. Researchers are using advanced machine learning to analyze hundreds of these symbols, comparing patterns, testing frequencies, and matching them against known ancient scripts. It's early days, but the signs are promising. Some experts believe we're on the verge of confirming that the Danube script isn't just decorative, it's linguistic. And that changes everything. If proven to be a true writing system, the Danube script could flip the timeline of human literacy on its head, putting Europe at the forefront of written history long before anyone expected. Some symbols seem to recur like grammatical markers, while others hint at spiritual or astronomical meanings. With AI leading the charge, the whispers of the Danube are growing louder. And if this ancient handwriting finally speaks, the story of human history might need a serious rewrite. The oldest writing war begins. Locked in clay for over 5,000 years, the Proto-Elamite script of ancient Iran has kept its secrets close. Until now. This mysterious language, carved into tablets during the rise of one of humanity's earliest civilizations, has resisted every decoding attempt. No known relative language, no translation key, just cryptic symbols, and silence. But now, AI is closing in. Researchers are feeding thousands of Proto-Elamite symbols into deep learning systems, training the models to detect visual patterns, compare structural similarities, and predict symbol relationships. It's like teaching a machine to learn a language no one's spoken in millennia, and it's actually starting to work. What's wild is how these AI models can pick up on things even expert epigraphers miss: subtle stylistic shifts, frequency clusters, and glyph groupings that might represent numbers, names, or even full-on grammar. The real question: what do these tablets hold? Trade records, myths, or something deeper? Politics, beliefs, even warnings. If AI succeeds, we're not just reading dead text. We're unlocking the voice of a civilization that predates the Persian Empire, that influenced Mesopotamia, and that could alteration the roots of writing itself. One thing's for sure, with AI in the game, history's quietest script might not stay silent much longer. Secrets below the ink. Beneath layers of ancient ink and forgotten parchment, a second story was waiting to be told, hidden in plain sight for centuries. And now, thanks to AI and next-gen imaging tech, that story is finally coming to light. Researchers and students teamed up to scan medieval manuscripts using advanced hyperspectral imaging. Basically, superpowered cameras that see what human eyes can't. Then, AI stepped in to analyze the data and reveal entire texts that had been erased, overwritten, or faded away with time. And the results? Straight up wild. These hidden writings include everything from lost biblical commentary to scientific theories and medical knowledge that had vanished from the historical record. It's like pulling back the curtain on the Middle Ages, showing not just what people believed, but what they knew and possibly tried to suppress. Some of these overwritten texts were hidden during times of censorship or crisis. Others were recycled simply because parchment was pricey. But now, with AI digging through the layers, we're seeing a fuller, rawer version of history, digging with data, What if ancient cities, temples, and buried treasure were hiding right beneath our feet, and a machine could tell us exactly where to dig? That's the power of predictive AI in archaeology. Forget guesswork. Forget decades of blind excavation. Now, artificial intelligence is using satellite imagery, terrain data, climate records, and even vegetation patterns to pinpoint hidden sites with jaw-dropping accuracy. This tech is already helping archaeologists uncover lost settlements, buried tombs, and long-forgotten roadways that traditional methods completely missed. One AI model even identified potential dig sites that were invisible to the naked eye, but matched ancient trade routes and topographic clues buried in data. And here's where it gets real dramatic. Some of the sites it's flagging are in regions no one thought to search, places that could totally shift what we know about ancient migration, war, and civilization itself. We're talking about AI literally looking into the past and saying, dig here. So, could this mean we're just scratching the surface of what's still out there? Lost temples, hidden writings, entire cultures waiting to be unearthed? With machines leading the hunt, the ground beneath us is starting to talk, and the future of archaeology might just be written in code. China's secret script. For centuries, it was a language hidden in plain sight, written by women, for women, in a world where their voices weren't meant to be heard. Now, the antique writing of Nushu is making a powerful comeback. Used exclusively by women in Hunan, China, Nushu was more than just writing. It was a lifeline. Passed down in embroidery, letters, and songs, it became a quiet rebellion against silence in a male-dominated society. But as time moved on, the script began to fade. Until now. Researchers at Dartmouth College just dropped Nushu Rescue, an AI-driven framework designed to revive this endangered language. And get this, they trained the model on only 35 sentence pairs. That's it. But with that tiny dataset, the AI learned to generate useful translations and expand the language's digital footprint in ways no one thought possible. This isn't just preservation, it's resurrection. The project proves that even languages on the brink of extinction can be saved with the right tech. And more importantly, it gives a voice back to generations of women whose stories were nearly erased. So, what other lost or silenced languages could be next? Thanks to AI, secrets once whispered in the margins are finally getting their spotlight. And Nushu? She's speaking again. Loud, proud, and impossible to ignore. Digital codebreakers of Persia. What if I told you? Artificial intelligence just helped crack a language that's been chilling in history books for over 1,000 years. Yeah, we're talking about ancient Persian, Middle Persian to be exact. And the secret sauce behind it all? A cutting-edge tool called Parsippy. A team of brainy researchers dropped this AI-powered toolkit that doesn't just read old Persian scripts, it decodes them like a boss. From tokenizing to translating phonemes, Parsippy basically unpacks these dusty texts word by word, peeling back layers of forgotten meaning. And no biggie, but it's the first of its kind to dive this deep into Middle Persian using natural language processing. But here's where things get wild. This ain't just about dusty poems or royal proclamations. These texts are loaded with deep cultural truths. Some even hint at power struggles, religious shifts, and political secrets that never made it into mainstream history books. Now with Parsippy, researchers are pulling those threads, revealing stories that were buried on purpose. Think about it. How much of history has been lost simply because we didn't have the tools to read it? With features like part-of-speech tagging and word embedding, Parsippy isn't just helping scholars. It's becoming the Rosetta Stone of a digital age. It's like giving voice to ghosts of a forgotten empire. Kinda spooky, right? AI resurrects Egyptian scripts. Yeah, AI just pulled off something straight up legendary. Scientists used it to resurrect one of the oldest written languages on Earth, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. And how they did it, that's where things get real mysterious. Turns out decoding these ancient symbols is crazy hard. Why? Because most of the original data is either lost, damaged, or super rare. So researchers had to get crafty, and they did. They brought in a slick technique called neural style transfer. Basically, the AI learns the artistic vibe of real hieroglyphs and then recreates them digitally. We're talking synthetic hieroglyphs that look so authentic, even trained eyes can't tell the difference. This isn't just artsy AI flexing. It's a serious move in the race to digitally preserve a dead language that held the secrets of a whole civilization, secrets that might have been meant to stay buried. Think about it. What if some of these symbols hold forbidden knowledge, political plots, sacred rituals, stuff ancient scribes encoded so only the elite could understand? And now, AI is dragging all that out into the light. The real kicker? These synthetic data sets could unlock even more lost messages, stuff that's been sitting in museums, untranslated for decades. And suddenly, we're not just looking at dusty tomb walls, we're reading them. This isn't just about language anymore. It's about peeling back layers of ancient mystery, one AI-generated symbol at a time. And yeah, this time, history isn't staying silent. The Proto-Elamite Enigma. Alright, this one's straight up wild. Deep in the deserts of ancient Iran, carved into clay tablets over 5,000 years ago, lies a mystery so old, nobody's cracked it. We're talking about the Proto-Elamite script. And now, AI's stepping into the game. These symbols are some of the oldest writing we've ever found. Older than Egyptian hieroglyphs, older than Mesopotamian cuneiform. But no one knows what they say. For real. Hundreds of tablets, thousands of symbols, and not a single confirmed translation. So, researchers decided to bring in some 21st century muscle. High-res imaging, machine learning, pattern recognition, the works. AI started scanning every line, every stroke, trying to find rhythm in the chaos. And guess what? It did. The AI picked up repeating sequences, symbol clusters, and possible grammatical structures. Stuff human eyes kept missing. It's not a perfect decode, yet, but for the first time we've got real leads. Like, this isn't just squiggles anymore, this is language. And the real question? What were these people trying to say? Were they tracking trade, talking gods, writing laws? Or maybe hiding truths the ancient world didn't want anyone else to know? This might be one of the biggest linguistic breakthroughs in decades. Because if AI can fully crack Proto-Elamite, we're not just unlocking a language. We're opening a door into a civilization we barely even knew existed, India's script vault. Cracked. This one's a total game changer. In April 2025, a low-key historic moment went down in Kolkata, India. Project Vidvanika was launched. Sounds fancy, right? This AI-powered mission is taking on one of the biggest ancient script collections in the world. Over 52,000 manuscripts locked away in the Asiatic Society's archives. For centuries, these texts sat untouched, handwritten in forgotten languages, packed with philosophy, science, rituals, and who knows what else. Most of it undeciphered. Until now. The Society teamed up with language experts and machine learning pros to build custom AI models trained specifically for ancient Indian scripts. And these models? They're killing it. We're talking old Sanskrit, Prakrit, even some lost regional dialects. Stuff that hasn't been read in ages. But here's where it gets spooky. Some of the decoded lines hint at esoteric practices, lost technologies, and philosophical systems that challenge everything we think we know about that era. Like, were ancient scholars hiding sacred knowledge in plain sight? This ain't your average digitization project. It's basically AI versus the Vault of Forgotten India. And the deeper they go, the weirder it gets. So now we gotta ask, why were so many of these texts locked away and ignored for so long? And what happens when all that lost wisdom finally hits the light? What if AI just cracked the oldest writing on Earth? And what other ancient truths are still hiding in plain sight?
Yeah.